Table Talks. I'm super excited to be back and to jump into this thing with you guys. Today's guest is my first guest from Chicago. That's right, guys. Vance Stanton is in the building, and he's going to tell us just a little bit about his story, but we're really going to learn about his book and how to, just manifest things in our life and inspire us to keep pushing and keep going forward and using all of our gifts. And y'all know I'm all about that. So you know what? Let's hop into this interview right now. Mr. Vance, and welcome to Carter's Table Talks. How are you today?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm just super excited to finally get you on the line because I know that this is something that we were, in the works, prepping for. We're supposed to get into it. Things happen along the way. Life happened, but I'm so happy to have you here today.
Yeah, cool.
So we are here to discuss your book. I'm super excited
First,
about
we gotta talk about, didn't you just buy a house or something like that?
I did just buy a house. So,
congratulations, right?
Thank you. And so like I said, that was kind of like, life just happening and why we weren't able to jump into this episode so quickly, but I do appreciate your patience and working with me here. And so like I said, we're here to talk about your book, but before we jump into that, can you just go ahead and let the viewers know a little bit about yourself? Let them know who you are.
Okay, my name is Vance Stanton. I grew up in the housing projects in Chicago, the hood, where most people kind of struggle their whole life. But long story short, I wound up going to jail when I was 17 years old, coming from the hood, and I started going to church in jail, and I got my GED in jail. So things kind of changed for me.
What Chicago are you from?
Southside Chicago.
I know. So I'm from Michigan. I don't know if you really
okay.
But I'm from Michigan. So I have family that live in Southside. So they're it's like Central Park, Independence,
Okay. That's the west side though. That's the west side.
Okay. So I got family there too, and I'm just like, oh well, I know some people in Chicago. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm your first guest from Chicago.
You are, and that's very interesting because the thing that I love about this platform is that I'm able to connect with people all over the world. So as you know, like I said, I'm located in Michigan. I'm raised in Michigan. I'm located in DC.
Right.
And so my audience is really, really broad, and I really enjoy that fact because it allows me to connect with, people such as yourself. And just now that we have COVID, now that we have the COVID and people have to stay in the house during quarantine, I'm just able to access so many more people because, social media is just where it's at. Everything is happening on social media now, so you're able to connect with people that you probably wouldn't have connected with before,
Yeah, it's amazing too.
Yes. So go ahead and walk us through your book. What made you write this book?
Okay, so let me go back to when I got out of jail a little bit. So I started cutting hair, but my whole thing about my book is living without limitations.
Right.
So I got this system called the Make It Your Season system. My book is called Make It Your Season. This is my book right here.
Yes.
So living without limitations. So by me growing up in the hood, me becoming a barber, I could have just been okay, I'm gonna be a barber for the rest of my life. But I saw that I had became successful with going to church. I was going to church. I became a Sunday school teacher. Then I became a barber. Then I became a photographer. So I'm the most talented and grindiest. I'm a grinder, hustler.
I'm always preaching that, God gives us many gifts, and before we leave the we need to use them all. And I think people get sidetracked into one lane, okay, this is my job and this is my job title, and I'm like, girl, or God, you're more than that job title. What you're doing at that place is that's one thing, but you have so many gifts and you got to use them all, right? Yeah,
and I want to liberate people to get them to think that, get them to have that thought that you don't just have to be a bus driver or something like that. So I saw the similarities of success that I had with Sunday school, barbering, and photography. So I wrote about it in my book, Make It Your Season, and I share with people how the system of success, how they could be successful with whatever it is that they choose. And that's pretty much what my book is about. But in addition to that, it is about, so I cut hair. And I'm tired from cutting hair.
Before you get into that, let me go backwards because you said you're talking about having multiple gifts and using them all and being successful. But there's a saying where it says, jack of all trades, master of none, right?
True.
So is it possible to be, how you said, you can be successful in them all, but how does that really work? Because technically, if you are doing so many things, are you really mastering all of them?
Well, my thing is motivational speaking and being an author. So all of the talents that I have, are kind of like going into that big pot. So it's like this, and this, and you know, everyone has talents. You know what I mean? So I use all of these talents to funnel into this talent, which is the main thing. But the real gift is life. You know, so that's what I like to talk about. Like, I retired from being a barber, and now I live my best life, and that's what I use. Like the system that I was talking about, the system. Like I want people to get the book or follow me on social media or whatever, and know that they can live their greatest life, and they don't have to live with limits. So all of my gifts are kind of funneled toward that, toward motivational speaking, but namely like just living life, just having fun, waking up, going about your day, being passionate, being happy, and stuff like that. That's like the real
deal. System, a process. So what is this system? Is it like
okay,
steps? Like what is it?
Okay, it's like you heard the 10-step program.
Yes.
It's kind of like that, but in my book, instead of it being 10 steps, it's 10 chapters in the book, and every chapter has a 10% value. So you got 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60, so on and so forth to 100%. And once you get to 100% with whatever it is that you're doing, then you basically made it your season with that area of your life. But the goal is to make it your season with your overall life, where you have time to enjoy your life, because so many people, they work their whole lives and they don't get a chance to enjoy it. You got money to buy the things that you want, and you got good energy flowing in and out your life. So that's really what life is all about, and the book is all about. So your
book is encompasses the value of a person in general. So all the things that makes up a whole or a healthy life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I love it, because I feel like sometimes we don't have balance. Like me personally, I'm just learning balance. Like it was super hard for me to even take a break and say, you know what, I can't do this right now. Like I can't focus, because if I do something, I want to do it like 100%. Like I can't change you. And so it was really hard for me to be like, you know what, like I just can't do it right now. Like I hate saying no to opportunity, for one. But I want to go back to something that you said, just going back to the whole like doing everything that you're called to do or aligned to do. But what about moments like that? Like what about moments where you fall short? So do you not fall short in one area if you're trying to encompass everything else? Or like it's different. Like you had a season where you were a barber, you had a season where you were a photographer, and you use those to align and keep going. Like what do you think?
I mean, I think it's like kind of like the stock market. Like our lives are like similar to the stock market. Like you're gonna have times where it's going up, and then you're gonna have times where it go down a little bit, you know, and that's just life, you know. You got life, you got death, you know, that's just life. But like when I was writing my book, Make It Your Season, like I went hard for like 3 to 6 months straight, putting it together, and then like toward the end, because like with the 10 steps, one of the steps, like 70% is like you want to give up. You know what I mean? That's just a part of the process. Right. So with the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of life, it's just, you know, as long as you get back in there and you keep swinging, then that's what it's really all about.
But I think that sometimes people don't like talking about the fact that you do want to quit and you want to give up, especially, again, it's this theme, especially when you feel like you're called to do many things and you want to do them all, you want to execute them all at the same time, even if that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But you get those moments where it's like extremely hard. And you're tired, you're famished, or things are working out, they're not panning out. Like you can see the vision that God has already given you, but you can't, it's not manifesting. You like, okay, God, I'm leaning on your promise because you told me to do this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't see that. Like that's not what's in my peripheral right now. That's not what's going on in my environment. So help me manifest this.
Yeah.
You know? And so sometimes I think that for me, even me personally, that gets frustrating because I'm just like, y'all, but then, I don't know, because then you get those moments where people encourage you, like you run into people like you, and you're just like, dang, like I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So what?
You can fall down, but don't. As long as you fall down, but you get back up, you know.
Yeah. So what keeps you lifted? Like what keeps you motivated to continue to do this work?
What keeps me lifted is the Make It Your Season system. Like, you know, I'm the president, but I'm also a client of it. And knowing that, you know, I want to live my best life. So that's my end goal. Like I want to be able to buy whatever I want. You know, I want to be able to do what I want. I want to be able to be happy. I want to be able to, you know, enjoy my work and stuff like that. So, you know, just going toward that goal is like what keeps me happy. And then
So
getting
what
there.
are some barriers that you faced along the way?
Everything. Divorce, like you mentioned, incarceration. I had a gambling habit. A lot of obstacles. My barbershop caught on fire. There's a lot of obstacles, but you know, it's just you just gotta keep going. You gotta have that focus. You gotta have your eye on the prize. You know, regardless. And a lot of times, like people worry about the outcome. Like people worry about like how long it's gonna take.
Right.
And I was talking to one of my clients the other day because I still cut like a real little bit.
Okay.
And he was talking about determination. And as long as one has determination, you shouldn't really look at like how long it's gonna take. You should really think about turning your determination up to get there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of people get stuck with how long it's gonna take. It took me 7 years to become a motivational speaker. It wasn't easy at all.
Okay.
At all.
But now that you're here, I'm pretty sure you see it's still not easy.
Like, yeah, it's getting easier now because I rehearse it and I practice it like every day. Like for 7 years, I didn't have a life. And like I say, I'm a grinder. So I work around the clock. I work like 24/7, like literally. And that's what people got to do in order to reach their goals. So it took me 7 years. Like I don't watch movies. Like I don't chill. Like I don't do none of that. You know, I just get straight to it. So we're getting straight to it. It took that amount of time, but
you
know,
want the people that believe that you're not supposed to sleep.
Yeah.
Like you, what they say, nothing comes to the sleeper but a dream.
Yeah.
No, I believe that you're supposed to have rest. That's a part of the process.
You be working too, though.
Yes, but I rest. Like when I'm asleep, I'm sleeping. I can sleep for a whole day. It still feel like I was productive the next day. I don't believe in that, you know, you go to sleep when you're dead thing. Like that's not that's just not it for me. I don't understand how people can function like that. Okay, so what do you have to say? Like, because you said you faced barriers and obstacles that you faced along the way. Did you have any naysayers in your life? Like what did that
yeah, my whole life, like coming up from the House of Projects of Chicago. Like I don't know. You say you grew up in Detroit?
No. There we go again.
Michigan.
Every time you tell somebody you from Michigan. They say I am from Benton Harbor. I'm gonna stick that on there. Benton Harbor, Michigan. Yeah.
Okay. Like just growing up in Chicago and saying, cause now my new goal, cause like I believe once you get a goal and you accomplish that goal, it's time to set a new goal because your life is really in your goal. You know what I mean? You know how like older people, like when they don't got nothing to do, they kind of like die. You know, so like I believe you should always like have a goal. So my goal now is to help millions of people change their lives and live better lives. So coming up, like talking about even just saying the word million around people in the hood is like something you shouldn't do. And I've always talked it, but I wasn't always there. Now I'm more there than talking it. So, you know, like people can't like try to discredit what I got going on. But coming up, like from the hood, I'm talking about from the hood, I'm talking about being on the block, I'm talking about hustling, I'm talking about wearing Air Force Ones, I'm talking about the whole thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So coming from that, and God really like blessed me, you know, and like I really love the adjective or the proverb faith. That's like one of my favorites, you know, from I guess the virtues is faith. So trusting in something that I couldn't see, but knowing that substance, knowing that it was there, even though I couldn't see it, and you know, people doubting because they don't see it, and just having to stick in there because you trust God or whatever. Yeah, it was all doubt. All doubt, I would doubt.
So would you say it was definitely like a mental battle for you? Because I think a lot of it is a battlefield. Like the mind is obviously a battlefield, but when you have people in your environment like naysayers, you have to continuously speak those promises into your life and those affirmations. But I think the mind is the most dangerous place, like to be, like if you're inside your own head and it's negative.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an underdog. I root for the underdog. Like if I was to bet on somebody, I bet for the guy that would seem like he wasn't or he or she would seem like that they wouldn't be successful. So that's nothing to me, like being an underdog.
So how does that feel like if you don't grow up? Well, actually, you know what? Before I even get to that, how do you define success?
Success is like making your season. I define success with making your season because it's about what makes your season is to you. Like somebody's making your season is living in Alaska where it's cold, where they just take care of their kids and stuff like that. That's their. Somebody's is taking care of their parents. You got different make it your seasons. Mine personally is to help people change their lives and live better lives, and me live a great life also.
So do you find that that's hard to do? Like when I'm just piggybacking off of what I said in terms of success, if you haven't seen it. So a lot of people like that, to come from your background or even mine, a lot of people figure that it's harder to achieve certain goals or to, get certain visions if you haven't seen it executed before.
Well, that's why the make your season system, like the system of 10% to 100% is so important because like I went through, like I said, like to go back a little, like I say that the process of success is the same from me becoming a Sunday school teacher, a barber, and a photographer, and that process can trickle over to becoming a millionaire or learning to play the piano or something like that. So the process is the same, both tangible and intangible. So it can be like playing a piano, like I said, but it can also be like being a better person because everybody's not nice. So it's tangible and intangible.
Yeah, people be nice, nasty. Let's be clear. We got nice, nasty.
Yeah, so the make your season system, like I used it on those 3 areas. I used it on becoming a motivational speaker. I use it on becoming an author. I'm a 2-time author. I got my new book, another book and stuff like that.
It already out.
It's coming out in probably like 2 months, but it's.
So I got the exclusive. Tell the name of the book.
It's called, Gary V?
No.
Gary Vaynerchuk?
Who is it?
It's called, he's a motivational speaker online. He's from Belarus. He's a white guy, so he's a white guy. And it's called How Gary V Changed the World, low key.
Okay. And so that's the name of your book?
Yeah, that's the name of the second book.
That's somebody that you were inspired by.
Yeah.
Good.
And
I was going to ask that because
he's very inspiring. He's very inspiring.
Because in your book you mentioned mentorship, so I wanted to know, is there someone that you look up to in this industry?
Besides myself, I'm on my Kanye.
Go ahead.
I respect everybody, but it's kind of like, I like Gary V. I ain't gonna say I look up to him like that, but I like him. I like him. I like you.
Oh, well, hey. But so how do people go about finding mentors? Like in your season, in your situation, like how do you go about finding mentorship?
Like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I really believe in it. So like when I was doing barbering, like I say, my success now is predicated on my yesterday's success because it's the same system.
Okay.
It's the same system. So when I was doing barbering, like the person that knew how to cut hair the best, that had the best haircuts, I would go up and talk to him. The person, when I was doing photography, the person I was asking, like, who does photography well? And they told me this one guy, and I went and I met him, Okay. Like, one of the reasons I wrote How Gary V Changed the World is to meet him, because ain't nobody wrote a book on it.
That's wise. That's wise. Yeah. But you got to get creative with mentorship. I always tell people that, like, because even when I'm looking for mentors, I used to think finding mentors was hard, especially even like spiritual mentors. Like I used to think it was just so hard, but like if you pay attention to people and their processes, and then you can add value to the conversation, because people love when you bring up stuff that they doing. Like people just love that. So if you can tell them like the tool, if you can tell them the tools that they put out to the world for free already, and that you already was paying attention to them, I think it gives people attention just a little bit more. Like you can't come empty-handed. Like you can't come and just want so much, but you haven't even done the least bit of work on who I am and what I'm offering.
And people want to help, you know, like when they see like that you kind of like in the same vein, they see you in the same industry and vein as them. They want to help you, you know, especially like if you show that you're hungry. So like I say, show that you're hungry if you want to mentor.
If you want to mentor. So what are some like I guess qualities that you look for in a mentor?
Somebody that's doing what I want to do at that level, at the highest level. So Gary Vee right now, he's doing it at that level. Like he got like 8 million Instagram followers. So he's kind of out there. So, you know, I'll kind of watch them and stuff like that. I shouldn't be saying this stuff, but kind of like
I think
because I wanted to kind of save it. I wanted to save it. I wanted to be special for him.
Yeah.
But he's doing it on that level. So I wrote a book about him to meet him and, you know, kind of like blow up from meeting him, to be honest.
I put into the atmosphere. You guys speak these things as if they weren't.
Yeah. We're going to come back to this interview.
Go back and show him this replay and be like, see, I told you I was already talking about you. Like years ago, months ago, I told you I was talking about you. So that works for me. So what advice do you have for people who feel like they have all these plans, but they don't have any resources?
I mean, you got to start where you at. I mean, a lot of people, I think we got more resources than we think. Like in the incarcerated system, like, I mean, you got to go to school. You know, you got to get some type, like I got a trade. Because it's hard to just
advocate for school in terms of the entirety is like a college education, or just like school in terms of like a trade or something to skill. Because I think I'm a 50-50. It might be fair. It ain't for everybody. Like
I'm 50-50 also. I'm like, whatever works for you. You know, like if you need to eat today, then you gotta start, you know, get some food on the table today.
Right.
So if that's what you gotta do, you might have to go to truck driving school or something like that.
Use the resources that you believe that use your resources that are at your fingertips. Those that are like what they say, low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can respect that because I think that a lot of times people don't start anywhere because they feel like I said, they don't have enough resources and they don't know where to start. And then you just kind of like, well, you got to open your hands. Like there's stuff in front of you right now. But the internet, like we were saying in the beginning, social media is a gold mine. Like with the click of a button, you can be in front of how many people, like, and just have a whole conversation, and people are just like, oh, like start tuning into what you got to say, which is definitely something that I'm hoping to see you do more of on Instagram.
I'm definitely coming for it. Build
Instagram. Okay, so where can people find you? Are you on Instagram, Facebook? Like, what can we?
I'm going to primarily be on Instagram, but I'm on Facebook also.
Okay, so what's your name on Facebook? Because I'm
Vance Stanton everywhere.
That's where you're at everywhere. And so, are you on Twitter? Like what?
No, I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and slightly on TikTok. I don't know if I'm like deal with TikTok that much. Maybe a little bit. What about you?
Well, I don't know about TikTok lately with that whole like Black Lives Matter thing that they did. So
what they do?
So they basically blocked the hashtag Black Lives Matter and stuff like that or whatever. They blocked it, and then once they were called out on it, they said it was an accident, and they put it back. But that wasn't no accident. They took it off purposely. They didn't want that on their platform, so I just don't support it. I'm not supporting them. Because speaking of that, how is that climate there for you? The Black Lives Matter movement.
The Black Lives Matter. I mean,
has it impacted your work? Like, do you see more people out? I mean, you do motivational speaking. Do you like feel like that's an opportunity for you to jump on and speak to the crowd, move the masses?
I think it's a good movement. I think we got some momentum going right now. Like, I don't really watch it too much like that myself. Like, I ain't watched the video of Floyd. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. Personally, I'm just tired. I can't watch anymore.
Yeah, I can't watch it.
I can't watch any more of those videos, but I think that what I would like for people to know is that you can support the movement anyways, like by many ways. It doesn't have to be like on the front line protesting. Like it can be making a post, like you said, using your voice, being a motivational speaker. It can be something subtle, but I just want everybody to know that you can play a part. It just don't gotta look like everybody else. Yeah, that's just not what it is.
Let me add this. So, like we're saying, like I'm a motivational speaker and stuff like that, but like I think a lot of times people like try to get the high hanging fruit like so much and so bad. And like I say, like I use all of my gifts to pull into me being a motivational speaker and living my greatest life. But I drive Uber though.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, I drive Uber, you know.
Oh, well, you know there's a new one now owned by a black man. You see that?
No, I didn't see that one yet.
Let me get the name. I think it's called Foyer.
Okay.
But it's supposedly just like Uber. He just started, and it's owned by a black man, and he's trying to get as many people to support him and to drive for his company. And I was like, you know what? It's called Fair Dryer. So I'm gonna send it to you. FARERYDER. Costs less than Uber and Lyft, and it's eco-friendly. But it's black man. Boom. So how long have you been doing Uber? Because I've been thinking about making that side hustle.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, you gotta use it. You gotta use everything that you can to get to where you gotta go. You know, I've been doing it for like 3 years.
Okay, so do you have conversations in the cars? Because you get in the Uber car, they be asking, "Are you a talker? Are you not a talker?"
I'm not really a big talker.
Are you an extrovert, introvert?
Both.
Okay. I'm about to say I'm getting the vibes because the motivational speaker part is like the extrovert, but then you probably had those moments where you got to sit back and still recharge your battery.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Because some people think I think people wouldn't say that I was shy, but I would say that I was shy.
Okay.
And then, I would say that I was shy, but then when I'm in my element, I just like people. I can talk to people, but then I have moments that I'm just like off the grid for days.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
let me get his value. Let me get his value before we leave. So, like one of the things that stop people from living their best life is that their spending habits are too out of whack. They spend their money on houses and cars, and like I ain't gonna lie to you, like damn it, everything I got in my house is like from OfferUp, eBay, or something like that. Yeah, because you want to you got to take your money. You got to take that money that you have because you got to invest in yourself. You have to invest money. Right. So the more you can invest in yourself, the sooner you'll be able to reach your goal. So I think people need to be aware of their spending habits. I think people need to be aware of negative people because that's one of the biggest deterrents of you being successful. And a negative person could be like a friend that speak negative, or it can be like your mom or your dad. It could be anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could be your past. It could be a negative person can come in any form or any position in life. Mm-hmm. So I want people to be aware of that. One of the ways that I say that the best way to make money is through products. So right now I have 4 products right now. Okay. I got 1 DVD, 2 DVD, my new book, and Make Sure Season. Okay. So I think products is better, me personally, than stocks, even though I got stocks, than real estate, than a business, like a business a brick and mortar business where you got to go there, you got to spend a lot of time there. It's kind of taxing. So I think products is the best way to go. Like I said, you got to grind. Delayed gratification. I think people need to get used to having delayed gratification because like my thing is like once your best life comes, then you'll be able to live that life for the rest of your life. Right. You don't gotta just keep, like having good moments here, like good moments in spurts. You'll be able to have it in a block. So I think that that's the best thing. And focus, having a goal and focusing on that goal until you reach that goal. Like when I was doing motivational speaking, I threw an event 6 years ago. And it was not a success. I was saying, it was a failure, So that was like one of those things where I had to really use the Make Sure Season system and be like, you know what? I know I'm not gonna quit. I know I'm not gonna give up. But the road to success was like so far down, I couldn't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I just stuck with it. I started going to Toastmasters. I started, recording videos. I started buying equipment. Like I was just, I just hung in there.
Do you like listening to yourself speak though? Because I learned that a lot of motivational speakers, it usually starts with them not liking to hear themselves. So they don't go back and replay what they worked on because it's just like, I don't want to hear myself talk.
Well, it's like art. It's like art. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you messing up, you don't like to hear it. But it's like it's like when you become like, because I do music also, you know. So I got a few rap songs. I got a rap album actually. It's called the Grand Album. The Grand Album.
Okay.
Like once I first started off, like it wasn't tasteful at all. But as you grow it and you mature with it,
I was about to say, it's amazing how we evolve, and then we look at stuff and be like, I was doing what?
Like probably like you, like when you first started doing YouTube or whatever, it's like if the lighting probably wasn't good, you know.
It wasn't. Things were still today. I'm like, okay, it's still not perfect, but that's part of, you know, the whole starting where you are, using your tools in your hand, and still doing it instead of making excuses like, oh, not right now.
Yeah, but the whole goal of life, and what I want people to know is that life is about living. It's not about spending all your time at work. It's not about hearing no when you want to be able to afford something. Like me personally, like I believe you should buy stuff cash. I believe you should buy your house cash, your car cash.
But they say credit is king.
Yeah, I got good credit, but like I believe this is what I believe, and this is what I teach. I believe you should stay down so much till when you get ready to buy those things, you can buy those things outright. You know
what?
But it might take 10 years. It might take 7 years. You know, but that's the type of stand down I do.
That is the goal of mine, to be able to buy like something like straight out all cash. But till then, you know, cash is still. I mean, king is still going to be credit because I'm going to get a lot of stuff. It's still like true. You know. But some people look at it like living in debt. So if y'all watching this, that's not what I'm telling y'all to do. I'm not telling y'all to spend above y'all means. If you're going to spend your money on your credit card, make sure you can pay it back the month after. Or after that. That's not what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Well, I thank you again for being a part of the Carter's Table Talks, because it was really interesting talking to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from you, especially on social media, because I always challenge people who do come to my show and they go ahead and they put their aspirations out there. Like, I'm challenging you to see more of you, to see more of your face. Online, on some videos, whether it's a YouTube channel or on Facebook. Start wherever it is that you have the most followers now, and I'm just looking forward to that. So like I said, I'm gonna follow you on Facebook. I'm already your Instagram friend, and I'm looking forward to seeing more to come. Right?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording.